my creatives, and welcome to part 2 of finishing up my Dephemerember altered book. So I'm just jumping right in with this page, and this page has quite a few pieces to it. So I wasn't really sure on how I wanted to do all of this, but I did know that I wanted to be a little bit more light and airy. So I'm going in with this beautiful paper from Action, which is very, very thin and very light. And I'm going to use my ruler to cut it to size because I don't like to use my scissors for this. I'm going to glue down this triangle completely because I didn't want to have another loading pocket on the bottom, but in the previous video I shared how I use this type of pocket in a different way. So if you haven't seen that, you can watch the previous video of my altered book. I also have a playlist for Dephemerember. So Dephemerember was a December daily project by Barbara from 49 Dragonflies and Louise Heinzel, and I created all of these amazing ephemera pieces and I had so much fun. So they are also linked down below in the description box, and you can see videos for how I created all of these pieces. And now I'm taking another piece of paper and I'm tracing my pocket to cut it to the right shape, and that is why I left all of my papers and pockets unglued when I made this journal, because it makes it so much easier to add in papers later on and your decorations. So here I am. I wanted to have it a little bit shorter than the actual pocket is because I wanted to have an edge showing. So I'm cutting here and there away with my scissors. Now I end up cutting a little bit too much on one side, but that will be no problem at all because my hidden paper clip will go over that. So you will not see that anymore, and I'm fine with that. So I'm inking up the edges and I'm adding some glue, sticking it down, and I think it already makes so much of a difference when you put down your basic papers. It looks a lot more finished and a lot more interesting. So I very much enjoy this, but I also really wanted to have that light and airy because of that tag. Now I'm adding some glue into the spine, hoping it will help to not that my book will not fall apart. And I'm also adding glue on the bottom and on that short side to close my pocket. And this is how I like to do it, because if you do not do it like this, your papers will probably not line up because you have ripped out pieces in between. So if you do it like this, your papers will line up. If you want to see that page, you have to see the previous video. And after everything is pretty much stuck down and I'm happy, I'm closing my book to see how it looks, I will continue my page. So I'm checking what I have here. I put back my hidden paper clip. I'm going to put that piece on the other page back again. And now I'm going to add here put my tag into the pocket, and I'm very happy with that side. So I wasn't really sure on what I wanted to do on the other side. I have this tuck spot, and I just I don't know, that mushroom didn't go with that lady. And then I also needed to find a paper, so I'm auditioning a few papers because I wasn't really sure on what I wanted to do, trying to use my scraps, but they also didn't look good. Then this one was too dark. It gave me a gloomy feeling. And then I found this one and I thought, okay, yes, this one is a perfect background because it's a light shade of blue. It has this fun pattern in it. So I decided to cut this paper to size, and this will be my background piece for this side. I also thought it would look nice with the tag that is peeking out because of the color and the hidden paper clip. So I'm very happy that I have picked this page, and I'm going to glue it down onto this book page. After it's glued down, I'm going to add here my tuck spots, but I didn't have anything yet to put in there. So in one of the Dephemerember videos, I have created a masterboard, and I picked one of these pieces to make an extra ephemera piece later on in the video. But first, I wanted, of course, something to be eye-catching in the middle of my page. And I found this bird, and that is also, the bird came up with a theme for this page. I thought the bird alone was a little bit meh, so I found this very, very big piece to be in the background. Now, this was quite a thing to cut out and quite a thing to glue down, and I will share with you how I will glue down such a big flimsy piece. You will see that here. I'm putting everything on my page to see how it looks, and I'm actually very happy with how it looks, so I am going to commit to this composition. So I'm going to glue this big leaf piece down in parts, because if I'm going to put down glue on the whole thing and the whole thing is moving all the time, it will fall onto my page and there will be glue everywhere. So I am going to glue it down in parts and making sure that I don't throw glued images on my pages. But so here you can see how I am doing that in partial steps. But the theme for this page, so the bird made the theme for this page, and the theme for this page is keep your head up. I thought that he was so proud looking and so determined and so, you know, like he's gonna fight, he can do this. And I really wanted to write on this page about my burnout, but positive affirmations. So I'm going to write down a lot of positive affirmations for myself that I used throughout the month of December to help me and my mental health. If you are a regular watcher of mine, you know that I use my journals mainly for my mental health. Yes, I also create for fun, but I do this mainly for my mental health, and I have lots of inner dialogues with myself on paper, and that very, very much helps me. I don't like to write in blank journals because they're so boring. So this creating part is a very necessary part for me to be able to write about these things. My personal journal is also a creative journal with a lot of fun things. I'm currently working in a junk journal that I have created for Victoria Designs, and I'm very much enjoying it. So yeah, I usually add mental health things in my journals because that works for me. After I glued down the whole thing, I was thinking if I wanted to add that excess piece, but I decided against it, and now I'm going to cut off the edges. So I also made sure that there was a pretty good crease in the middle of this leaf thing, and I think that is one of the most important things if you do something like this, is to make sure that the crease in the middle is nicely there. Otherwise your image will probably rip or move or anything. So take some time to make sure that it is nice in the crease. Now moving on, I of course also need to adhere my bird because he is the star of this page. And as you see, I started out with making the crease. It also helps me to know where I want to put my bird, but it also helps with making sure that he is adhered properly into my book, because doing this bulks up your spine, just as you know, so don't use things that are too thick. Moving on to that tuck spot, I'm going to adhere my page tab to my tuck spot to create like they are one, and now I'm going to adhere it down, so my page tab will be adhered down completely, and on the tuck spot I will only put glue on one side so I can put my ephemera piece in there. And after it's done, I'm going to flip the page, and then I'm going to glue down that piece of fabric so my tab will stick out to the other page. Now I am checking how it looks, and I'm very, very happy with it, but this mini piece of a masterboard still needs some decorating, so I thought maybe I wanted to use the excess piece of this plant. I didn't really like it because it was too matchy. Then I also found these letter stickers that really helped with my theme, and it's Rise Above, Embrace the Journey, and that is what I am journaling about. I love it to use these journal or these word stickers as little prompts, so it was really fun to find this one, and I thought it would go perfectly with him. So here I am with my piece of masterboard that I'm going to turn into another journaling card, and I'm gluing some tea-dyed paper on the back so I can journal on it, and I'm going to cut that out so it's again a nice square. I believe this square is 3 by 3 inches if I am correct, then I'm going to use some vintage photo on all the pieces. And here I am with the tape that I have created myself. Now I haven't shared a video yet in which I have created this tape, so that will be a video that will be later on, but I use this because I also used that on that mushroom piece and I wanted these pieces to go together. And on that mushroom piece, I also used a piece of my masterboard. That's also why I picked this mushroom washi sticker. I thought he would go very well with the other mushroom that I already used. And now I'm going into my stamp book to pick some stamps because I also used them on the other page. And I think they are a very nice collage piece. So after I did that, I also needed a little bit of snow, as I did on the other one. So I'm taking my gesso and I'm putting some on the lid, watering it down with my water bottle. And now I'm going to splatter on my card to, you know, create the illusion of snow. After I'm ready with that, of course, I'm going to wipe off my desk because I have a fabric cover and I don't really like to have gesso on my cover. And then I'm going to stick it in with that lady that is sitting there. So now it is time to journal, and this tag cannot be journaled on yet. So I'm using my gesso to create a white base so I can journal on that. I thought it was fun if you could still see that this was a children's book page, and now I can journal on top of that. So like I said, I'm going to write some positive affirmations and some things that I have to do. So I need to stop making compromises and I need to think about myself and I'm worth it. And I need to, you know, set my boundaries because no one else will do it for me. And that I need to listen to myself and that I am the director of my own life and not someone else. So these things really, really help me to write them down on paper to help my mental health. Putting it back into my pockets, and I'm super, super happy with this page. And then we are moving on to the next one. So this next one is also really, really fun. I have already decorated these pockets. I'm also going to add another piece of that masterboard because I didn't have any ephemera yet for that, side pocket. And I'm taking blue papers for this because I am going to document some things about snow because this page really gave me the feeling about snow. So that is why I picked this paper. I'm just going to cut that to size. I'm also going to do that for that paper. So this one will not go in all the way. I think it will be fine. I don't know. But I really, really wanted to use that paper. So I'm going to use it. Also left the branding strip on because, well, it will be glued into my book. So I didn't feel the need to remove the branding strip. So here was a fun little thing. I inked up all my edges and then I thought, no, I want to have the raggedy edges. So all that inking was for nothing because then I had to do it again. But that's okay. These things happen. I'm going to use a little piece of coffee dyed book page for that small pocket because I wasn't quite sure on what I wanted to do there, but I wanted to keep it quite neutral and blue. So I thought this was a nice color to add inside that pocket. And now it is time to glue down my panels. So I'm going to glue down this one and making sure that the dark is on the bottom and the light is on the top because that is how I wanted to put it in my page. And adhering this book page, I had a lot of fun with this page and a lot of fun with these pages and ephemera pieces. So it was a very good journal to make. After I am done gluing this down, I'm going to glue down my pockets and I'm adding glue into the spine to make sure that my book won't fall apart. And on the top and the bottom of this page. And then I'm pressing everything down. You have seen me do this in the previous video. And I can't say it enough. I very, very much enjoyed doing it this way. am making this altered book. I'm definitely going to make another altered book like this again. I have bought a thicker one at the thrift store a couple of weeks ago, so that is ready for me. I also bought some very, very cool books with very cool covers that I can create into junk journals. I am totally feeling the creating at the moment, and especially with old books, I'm very, very much enjoying that. So after I glue down that pocket, I also need to glue down that little flap, because that will also be a little pocket. But this one gave me a little bit of trouble. Like I said in the previous video, this paper soaks in the glue like crazy. So my pocket came apart again. So I needed to add a little bit more glue and really work the adhesion. Because otherwise it will come apart again. So I don't know if this was the perfect paper to do so, but you know, you make it work. As you can see here, this one also came up again, because yeah, there's just not enough glue on these pages. Putting glue on this one, and I'm going to stick that down as well, and then the base of my pages are ready. So this was a super quick page to create, I have to say, because the pockets were already decorated because they were part of the Dephemerember. I'm going to put everything back into my pockets again, and then I am going to work on my ephemera piece. Oh no, wait, I missed something. So I went through my stash of pen pal goodies that I have received, and I found these gold stars, and I thought they were perfect for this page. So I'm going to add here these stars to my pages, and I'm putting them on places where you can actually see them. That is why the ephemera is still in my pockets. I'm just going to glue them down with some Nouveau Deluxe glue, and now I'm going to create my other ephemera piece. So I'm taking this image from this book, and I have used images from this book before onto other journaling cards in this book, so I thought it would be very good. I'm taking this fox, and I thought he was very, very cool, but I missed a little bit of a white border, or cream colored border, because I'm using my tea-dyed paper. I'm gluing him on there, and I'm going to cut around him with my Tim Holtz paper trimmer, which I very, very much enjoy for these small pieces. So I'm very happy I have that. Inking around the edges, and then I'm figuring out where I want him. You saw the journaling card on the left side. I wanted to make this a companion to that one, so I'm using similar supplies and similar stickers that I have in my stash, also to make it easier on myself, because you don't always have to think of something new to create. You can also create companions for things that you already have created, so this process wouldn't be too long. Yeah, so I'm just taking these stickers and I'm figuring out the composition that I like. And when I like it, I'm going to start sticking things down. So these clear stickers are sometimes very hard to get off the backing, and then once they stick down onto your project, they are stuck down. So what I like to do is I like to cut off a little bit of the acetate backing, so I can stick it down on the position that I like, and then remove the rest of it later on, so it doesn't stick on everything immediately. And I feel that it gives me a lot more control on how I put my page, my stickers on my page, and how I layer them with other pieces. So I very much enjoy that, because these ones will not come off once they are stuck down. I'm going to glue down my focal point, this beautiful fox, and then I'm going to add here my last sticker. And even with this one, it just gives me a little bit of time and space to move it around to the perfect spot. Of course, this one also needed a little bit of snow. And yeah, I just love making splatters. But also the other cards that I have created for Dephemerember with this masterboard have this snow. Now, I was very lucky to not splatter in his eye, so I would recommend to put a little piece of paper over his face. I forgot, but I was lucky that it didn't go into his eye this time. And I dried everything off, and after that I wanted to create this into a tag. Now I'm going to make a very, very big failure with this. I'm cutting off one of the corners and putting it on the other side to make sure that they will be similar. but I put it on the wrong way. So they were so crooked. And I thought, well, I'm not going to bother anymore. I'm just going to snip it off and making a straight tag. So this will be a straight tag. So no tag shape. I'm letting that go. I didn't want to remove more of my card. So yeah. Now you know, no one else will know, but now you know that I really wanted to do something else. And these things also happened to me. I was just, I don't know, I think I was too tired in the end and didn't pay attention. I used some tea-dyed paper on the back to create a journaling spot, and now I'm going to make a hole with my crocodile and I'm going to insert a white eyelet. I also have used a white eyelet before in this journal or on the ephemera pieces, so I thought that would be a fun thing to add here. And now I'm going to add a little bit of fabric. So this is a piece of fabric that I have torn off a towel or something I got at the thrift store. But my glue wasn't completely dry yet. So my paper was a little bit smushy. So I could have easily ripped my paper. So maybe wait until your glue is a little bit more dry and it stiffens up a little bit. But I didn't have the patience. So now this piece is ready. And I'm happy how it looks, and I'm putting that in my journal. Now I'm going to write about how much I love snow. Snow makes me so happy. Once I see a little bit of snow, I feel this childlike happiness inside of me. And then I remembered when I was little and still in middle school, we had a meter of snow in the Netherlands, and I spent all day outside playing. And then I remembered last year we had the snow blizzard, which was amazing. And I made a walk in that snow blizzard with Oots, who was so kind because he didn't want to go outside, but he knew it would make me happy. So he went outside with me in a snow blizzard, and it was amazing. It just makes me so, so happy. So I journaled about that, and I love that I have that memory in my journal. Now moving on to the third page of today, and I am going to adhere this envelope right away. So I'm adhering the flap onto the page because now I can cut my paper or tear my paper to cover that flap up. And it is a part of the construction of the book. So I'm going through that reminiscence book because I also used that on the ephemera, and I thought it would be fun to use that again on this page to create a collage. So I'm just taking out some papers, and here I also have another pieces of a masterboard, but I have created this with my chatty patrons. So we do a Zoom every month, and then we chat and create, and you don't have to create, but you can, and we chat, and it's very, very fun. And in December I created a masterboard while doing the Zoom with my own digital kit and some other collage bits. So I thought it would be fun to document that as well in this journal, and I thought the colors would go very, very well with the ephemera piece that I already had. Now I'm taking one big sheet because I want to have that as a backdrop, this beautiful gold colored, and I am figuring out where I want to glue it. So I'm making a little mark on my page so I know where to start this piece of paper because I don't want to have any gaps. So I'm adding my glue, and now it will be fit in perfectly with my collage I already figured out. I'm making the crease to make sure that it is nicely inside my book, burnishing everything down. And now I will cut off the excess of this paper, making sure that it is still creased nicely and not coming up. I will use this piece, of course, again, so this will go into my scrapbox. Even though there is some glue on it, I will let that glue dry and then it will go back into the scraps. So after this was stuck down, I'm going to stick down the other pieces of paper that I have chosen from that reminiscence book. And I very, very much like the look of the book. And it's funny because it's Christmas related, and I never thought that I would buy Christmas related stuff. And I still have tons of it left, so I can use it again next year. I'm going to ink up the edges with some tea dye, and now it is time to add some of my masterboard, which is really, really cool. Making sure that I'm not gluing this over the crease because this is pretty thick card, and then it will screw up with the binding. So making sure that it's not in the crease. And I'm going to also add a little bit of that It's the Season paper on the other side because I missed the balance. It didn't need it to cover it up, I just missed the balance of these letters on both sides. As you can see, I'm using diagonals. I very much enjoy working in diagonals. It feels more dynamic, and I love dynamic to be in my pieces. Gluing the other pieces down and making sure that everything is properly secured down, especially these cards because they are pretty thick, so I don't want them to come up. And then I thought, okay, so now I have this. I am missing something. And the funny thing is, I just reorganized a little bit of my craft room and I found these images. I didn't know I had them because sometimes people give me things because they know I'm creative and they have these things laying around for years in their house and they're like, yeah, but Kyra, would you like some of this? And I'm like, yes, please, because if I don't use it, I can send it to someone else. And I found these. And I thought they would go perfect on this page. Look at these colors. So I was very, very happy. I got them out and I'm going to stick them down. After, of course, I did some gold splattering. So the reason I found them is because I have a new storage system. I have now 8 boxes of about a little bit bigger than 12 by 12 inch. And they are divided in the following categories. I have dyed papers, so my coffee and tea dyed papers will go into there. Then I have winter, I have one for Valentine's, I have one for spring, I have one for summer, I have one for Halloween, I have one for autumn, and I have one for Christmas. Because I thought I didn't really have things for these seasons, or I totally forgot I have them, and then I find them when the season is over. So I thought it would be a good idea to create these boxes so I can just pull that out when a certain season is starting and I can work with the stuff that I have. Because, for example, otherwise I wouldn't have picked these images because I didn't know that I have them. So I'm very, very happy with that. I stuck them down, inked them up, and now I'm going to write out with these letter stickers, It's the Season, because I really missed something in the middle there. And I thought, well, words are always a good thing. So I'm writing out It is the Season, and now I'm going to journal on the back of this card about my experience with Dephemerember and how this book came to what it is now, and that I'm super, super happy with it. So it was a little reflecting on this project, and I'm going to stick that postcard in again. And now the only thing we need to do is I need a title page. So I haven't created a title page yet. I have one of the page tabs on the front, and that's the last one I need to glue in. And then I thought it wouldn't be fun if I would have a circle with the month and the year in there. So I'm taking one of these neutral papers that looks like fabric, and I am going to stamp the dates in there. At first I thought maybe I wanted to use a little bit more of the masterboard, but that would take away a lot of that neutral paper, and I picked it neutral paper because my year and month would stand out from that. So I'm taking these Tim Holtz cling foam stamps, and I'm going to stamp out DEC and Jan on this circle. Here I thought I lost my J, but I found it. Like this, staggered, because I thought it would look fun. So I'm going to start with Jan because I don't want to run out of space. So I'm going to start with the bottom and the last letter first, and December I do the other way around because the D is at the edge. Then I'm taking some Your Creative Studio stamps, and I'm going to stamp out my dates or my years. I wasn't quite sure on how I wanted to do that yet, but while I was stamping, I figured it out how I wanted to do it. As you can see, I also have a book page on the side that I used to stamp off on, and it creates such cool collage paper. So I definitely recommend to use book pages for that. After I was done with my stamping, I'm going to put it in my book. And here comes in me wanting to add something, but I couldn't figure it out at first. So I thought I wanted to use more of my stamps, because I use them throughout the book. And I have these December stamps from the Netherlands. I thought they would look great, but I just couldn't make them work. So I thought, I'm going to move on. I'm going to adhere everything first. I'm going to adhere my page tab to my circle, so it is part of that collage. And then I am going to adhere my circle, so everything is nicely stuck down. It won't move anymore. I was happy that I was able to add this page tab to this page and that it wouldn't cover my journaling. It's a close fit. And then I go back with the stamps again. But in the end, these stamps are just too small, because when I picked stamps that were a little bit more wide or high, it helped a lot with my collage, and I was happy with that. So I picked these two stamps. So one is a Christmas stamp from the US and one is a December stamp from the Netherlands. And I thought, well, I don't have to make it harder than it is, right? I'm just going to emulate my page tab. So I'm going to take 2 small pieces of book page, and then I want a strip of something, and that is my little collage cluster, because it did feel bare without these stamps, so it needed something. And yeah, they're fun little collage clusters, so don't throw away your small scraps. They are great for collage clusters like this or masterboards. I very, very much enjoy masterboards at the moment. I will share videos about that also somewhere in the future. But yeah, I very much enjoy them. I'm trying to use the top-down glue method to make sure that the pieces are exactly how I want them to be. So, for example, I wanted them a certain way here to complement the circle as well, because for me everything is a whole, and I feel that it needs to be balanced. Now everything is done, and I'm very, very happy with my book I'm showing here. It's a bit of a gator mouth, so it needs a closure, and I found this burlap ribbon in my stash, so I'm going to wrap that around as my closure. I don't think it needs any more exciting things to it. I think it is perfect the way it is, so I'm just tying it around pretty tightly and making a bow. And then this is my altered book for December and January of 2021 and 2022. I really hope that you enjoyed this series. I very much enjoyed working on this project, and I enjoyed making this series for you and share what I was creating for Dephemerember and how I am dealing with my mental health while creating. So let me know what you think of this series, and I hope you enjoyed this video. I will post a flip through of the journal, of course, later on. And thank you all so much for watching. Bye!